Islam?
Page and brother Page L. Page and brother Page L. Islam. Islam, brother. How you doing, brother? Can you hear me? I can see you, but can you see me? Islam?
Islam.
Oh, you can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can see you.
Oh, so why you ain't say nothing? I think I'm talking to myself.
No, I had to take the Wi-Fi off. I'm outside my house. I had to take my Wi-Fi off so I can hear you and see you.
All right, Islam, brother. I'm glad.
Islam.
I'm talking to myself. I'm like, what is going on here?
No, we was having technical difficulties.
Okay, it's okay, it's okay. Uh, uh, I learn this stuff. I learn this stuff as I go along. So anyway, let me share this link a little bit. I think we are live right now. And I'm gonna I learned this Hold stuff. Up. See, look at that. So here we go. Let me share this link real quick and let people know that we are live, because I definitely like to answer questions, bro. And I think I've been planning to launch this channel because since I've been dealing with the Grandmaster J issue or situation, many Moors would say, "Brother, what's going on, man? You." And I'm like, listen, we ain't gonna be trapped into the box of the lessons in that fashion. But what we will do is we're gonna be able to spit the lessons and other, if you will, other genres of our community, if you will. But I don't want to leave the foundation either. And so that's what this channel is about, the foundation of what the Prophet Noble Drew Ali brought and the true historical account of Prophet Noble Drew Ali. So let me first and foremost rise and give praise to the great God of the universe, Allah. I give honor to his prophet, Prophet Noble Drew Ali. I give honor to the forerunner of the prophet, Brother Marcus Mosiah Garvey. And I give honor to all the members of the Moorish Science Temple of America who actually subscribe to the laws and disciplines that the Prophet Noble Drew Ali has brought to us through our ancient forefathers and foremothers. And with that being said, I got my brother Page L. Brother, where are you from?
Detroit. Well, Detroit. I'm in Redford right now, but Detroit, Michigan.
Oh, what'd you say, Redford? What's that? Close to Detroit?
Yeah, it's like 2 minutes away.
Oh, okay,
So it's Detroit.
Okay. Are you a member of a temple in Detroit?
Hey,
let me tell you, I want everybody to know. Let me say this before we get started. Anybody that come on this show, I don't care who or what you believe in, what group you're with. I don't care anything about that. This is a channel about historical account, telling the truth, and getting some answers. That's what this is about. But I always ask people, what temple they're a member of. If they're not a member of, it doesn't make a difference here and there. But we need to get to know each other if we brothers and sisters, period, point blank. You follow me?
Yeah. Yes. But I'm not with any temple right now. I go
Praise
to
the
the
Lord.
temple, but I go with the temple, or I go to the temple, but I'm not a member.
Absolutely. I got you. And I want to say that again, family. If you come on the Moorish World TV platform, and if I ask you what temple are you a member of, I don't care if you're a Moorish national, proclaim Moorish American. I don't care if you go to the temple of Zimbabwe. I'm only asking so we can get to know each other. I'm not tripping. I'm not tripping.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As long as you don't challenge me and want to go to a duel. If you want to go to a duel, that's different. All right. But I ain't gonna talk about you got a mold on side your head. I'm only deal with facts. You know what I mean? So, brother, as you can see, I got on this Thomas Drew Ali shirt, and I will put the link so those who would like to acquire one, if they wish to, in the future. And you inquired, brother, and I honor you for your inquiry, because I've worn this shirt many a times, and nobody will say anything. And it's strategic at that. It's strategic.
Yes. I know. I know. I can see it.
You peep my hand? Did you peep my hand?
Yeah. I'm like, whoa, man. I seen it, and I'm like, man, the brother wrote this, man, but I ain't never saw this. Let me ask him. Right? So, as you saw, I was jumping on the live feed because I don't know nothing about this technology. So I'm popping at you. But you were so busy doing the I forget the guy name, but that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy. So you was doing him, and I'm like, man, I'm trying to get. I want to listen to some more stuff, man. What is we? Okay, yeah, you're doing this, but man, hey. So I'm glad you created this other channel.
Yeah, and brother, you know what? I seen you say when we gonna get back to more show. Somebody,
yeah, but man, hey, listen, I understand you exposing. Hey, expose, put the truth out there. But hey, look, brother, I want to talk about this. Let me hear this. This is what I do. Moore's World TV.
Absolutely, and I hear you, bro, and definitely. And let me tell you something. When people watch Moore's World TV, although I changed the direction just a little bit, I'm going to bring it back to the concepts that the prophet has given us, the foundation. But I have to reach out into the crowd of our people and bring it back to the Moorish Science Temple of America, if you will, or bring the Moorish Science Temple of America to them. But I heard you, and I heard a lot of people. Even people in our temple is like, Grand Sheik, they give me that look like this is what we doing. I'm like, nah. But the thing is, I'm still teaching 3 times a week. You know what I'm saying? Authentic Moorish science. I'm just using the Moorish World TV platform for a different reach at this moment. But I hear your call. I hear everybody call, and I'm glad that y'all appreciate the information that I'm able to distribute through the wires. You know what I mean? But with that being said, your question is, bam. What's your question, brother?
Who is Thomas Drew? What is Thomas Drew Ali Academy?
So this is
Ali University. Sorry about that. Not Academy.
Okay. So Prophet Noble Drew Ali's birth name is Thomas Drew. It's not Timothy Drew. That's number one. Many people that and I'm gonna keep it a buck because they're gonna come back and watch this later. Many people that came up through the ranks of the Moorish Science Temple of America, they did not know that Prophet Noble Drew Ali's name was Thomas Drew, due to the fact there was a great cover-up. I actually got a book and a lecture that I'm gonna start the lecture on October the 25th in Virginia. I don't have the address on me, but I'm gonna start the lecture, and it's called The Rejected Prophet, Thomas Drew to Prophet Noble Drew Ali. And so just to give you a little history about it, Prophet Noble Drew Ali was born Thomas Drew. That is his name. There is no doubt or no question about it. The only time that you would see Timothy Drew is on the death certificate and a forged marriage certificate. None of those are is his handwriting. None of them. Obviously, he couldn't write it on a death certificate.
Yeah.
and I can prove that the marriage certificate is falsified. You know what I mean? He was in prison when it was generated, if you will. You know what I mean? It was definitely falsified. And so one of the things that I come to see is that I ask myself, well, why would somebody do that? Well, Prophet Noble Drew Ali says in his lessons that I am Jesus come again. And one of the lessons that we read, and people will find that in the old statement. But also we know that we believe in reincarnation. We believe in the spirit of truth, and Prophet Noble Drew Ali to me, in fact, is Jesus come again. And so when I hear that statement, I'm asking myself, how can I parallel the story of Jesus with the story of Prophet Noble Drew Ali? Of course, they're in 2 different time eras. They're in 2 different time frames, or 2 different eras of time, if you will. But nevertheless, how can we correlate those stories together? And one thing that is very unique about those 2 stories that are actually one is the 18-year missing of Jesus. Prophet Noble Drew Ali said that's not in your Holy Quran, is not in your Bible, and your Holy Bible is now in your Quran, 18 years of Jesus. But then you look at Prophet Noble Drew Ali's life, and you look at from 1913 to 1925. And I think that'll be about 12 years. That's like 12 missing years of Drew Ali. And these are master numbers. You know what I'm saying? When did Jesus what age did Jesus begin to teach? You know what I'm saying? And we know, according to the Bible, he was 12 years old. You know what I'm saying? According to the Bible. And then we got that unique 12 years missing of Prophet Noble Drew Ali life. Because we know, how long have you been a member of the Moorish Science Temple of America or the Moorish Thought?
I've been a member since 2003.
Since right 2003. That's good enough. That's a nice time to be able to bounce around in your mind the concepts of Islamism and Moorish science. So that's plenty of time. So now you know, and I know. You know, I've been a member of the Moorish Science Temple of America in some part to some degree, and I say that because I've been with some fugazi stuff too. I had to drop some of that stuff at the door. For real, I've been with some man. I came in through some like we really doing this. We really doing this. So, but long story short is I had to drop some of that stuff at the door, and in dropping some of that stuff at the door, I had to pick up the truth, and with me picking up the truth, I had to acknowledge a few things. First of all, Prophet Noble Drew Ali founded the Moorish Science Temple of America, 1913 AD. Why does the story start and stop there, and then the next time it pick up, he in Chicago? Now, when I came in, that was the story. We got a little bit more tidbits now. When I came in, Prophet Noble Drew Ali, when was the year the Moorish Science Temple of America founded? 1913 AD. The next time we hear about Prophet Noble Drew Ali, man, they looking real good in Chicago. That's how I came in. So in my mind, what happened? Where is the rest of the story? So what I come to see is the same reason that Jesus was taken out of the equation, the developmental stage to prophethood, of Prophet Noble Drew Ali was also removed. Why? Jesus said, what I have done, all men can do, and what I am, all men shall be, because I go unto the Father. Well, Prophet Noble Drew Ali is Jesus come again. In order for you to demonstrate Prophet Noble Drew Ali, first you have to understand the process of unfolding into the God self. And Prophet Noble Drew Ali gave his life as a willing sacrifice. Why are we only learning about part of his life? If he gave his life as a willing sacrifice, as Jesus gave his life as a willing sacrifice, why are we only learning about part of his life? Because somebody don't want you to learn that part that will turn you and transform you into flesh divine. That's it. That can only that's the reason why they took out the part of Jesus, and that's the reason why the part of Prophet Noble Drew Ali is missing. Now, with that being said, this is where the rubber meets the road. A lot of the information that I have, these people that claim they love Prophet Noble Drew Ali, claim they support the program of Prophet Noble Drew Ali, they not teaching this truth. They refuse to go on their website and take down Timothy Drew and put up his real name, Thomas Drew, where emphatically no one can disprove this. Emphatically. And I would challenge anybody. I would challenge the top Moorish scholar on the planet Earth and Jupiter to prove me that his name is not Thomas Drew and that his name is Timothy Drew. I will prove without a shadow of a doubt that his name was born Thomas Drew. And so this here is a concept of getting back to the truth, getting back to the root. Thomas Drew Ali University. Is it a literal university, brick and mortar on the ground? No, but this is what we need. We need a university that is going to reflect the ultimate truth, regardless of feelings and emotions. So it doesn't matter. See, my thing is this, and I teach this in our temple, even in our virtual component. I teach hard and I teach real. I said, listen, if you following a lie, there's nothing divine that can come out of a lie. So if this is a holy and divine movement and you're not able to make the adjustment and you carrying on a lie, the holy and divine is not there. In fact, you're having Chrislam. You're having Chrislam. You're in the temple being a church. You're demonstrating some Chrislam degrees up in there. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm following what you said. I heard you say that a couple of times, and it makes me laugh every time you say it.
And it's the fact of the matter. If we're not able to adjust as the truth is unfolding, because all things do tend upward towards perfection, and the truth is always revealing itself. If you are not able to adjust when the truth is revealed, you'll get stuck in yesterday. I ain't gonna get stuck in yesterday because I want to benefit I want the benefits that come with being a Moorish American Muslim and Islamism. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm in it for. If it wasn't no benefits, I'm telling you, I'm mad. You know. And it make me think right. It makes me move right. It holds me accountable. Islamism holds me accountable. Now, if it holds me accountable, and I no longer believe in the fat European coming down the chimney and kissing my children and they sitting on his lap in the mall. I no longer believe in Easter Bunny having eggs and my children going to find them and I'm lying to them. Yeah, the Easter Bunny hit them over there. I no longer believe in that nonsense no more. Why should I believe that a holy and divine prophet of God committed such atrocities that they put on him? They try to say he molested or married Drew Ali, who was 12 years old, and then they justify it. Well, you know, we do that in our culture. You feel what I'm saying? They talk that dumb stuff like that. You know what I mean? But this is the holy and divine prophet. Instead of digging up and looking for the ultimate truth, instead of looking for the ultimate truth, they settle with these wives' tales that have been put on Prophet Noble Drew Ali by those who was trying to overthrow the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. And so they dirtied up his name. You follow?
I got a question for you. Yeah, I follow you. What happened to Pearl Drew Ali?
Man, what happened to Pearl Drew Ali? And I'm going to give it to you $1. And this is the truth. This is the truth sermon. This is the moment of truth. Kirkman Bey and that whole group right there took Sister Pearl Drew Ali. The evidence point to that they took Pearl Drew Ali and they put her away. They put her away. They hid her. And let me tell you how I know. There's an affidavit out there, a deposition out there, where the police interviewed Murray Drew Ali and asking Murray Drew Ali, hold up, if you're the wife of Prophet Noble Drew Ali, then what happened to his other wife? She says emphatically they put her away, whatever that means. Now, we don't hear nothing about Pearl Drew Ali until the 70s. Absolutely. After the melee of 1929, you don't hear nothing about Pearl Drew Ali. Not even in the minutes of 1933. You hear about Mary Drew Ali, but not Pearl Drew Ali. But let me ask you a question. Anybody know what happened to Murray Drew Ali?
No.
Nobody knows. But let me tell you something. We know where Pearl Drew Ali is buried at. I have elders that used to go to the grocery store for Sister Pearl Drew Ali. So what happened is this. Pearl Drew Ali was in Temple. She came in through Temple number 9, the West Side Temple. And that temple was one of the most, I guess you would call, influential temples in Chicago. You follow what I'm saying? They had big numbers. And this is why Prophet Noble Drew Ali said the members of the Grand Temple and the West Side Temple, 3,000 members will be moving, 3,000 miles will be moving in the coming election for I think it was, I forget the exact words, but he was talking about 3,000 people. Pearl Drew Ali came in through that. Her aunt was actually, if I'm not mistaken, don't correct because I'm trying to pull it off my head, Whitehead Bay. Whitehead Bay. You know what I mean? Whitehead Bay is the one that is signed on the first affidavit with the Prophet Noble Drew Ali in 1924. if I'm not mistaken, 26, something like that. Anyway, I'm just throwing it around. I can pull the documents at will, but I'm just trying to give a scenario. And so that was her family there. Turkmen Bey also came through that temple. Ultimately, that became the temple that tried to overthrow Prophet Noble Drew Ali. You see? And see, you got to understand, in today's world, we see Prophet Noble Drew Ali slightly different than how they seen Prophet Noble Drew Ali back then. Many of the brothers were Masons back then. They were odd fellows back then. And when you look at the titles of Masonry, you have to understand that you got the worshipful master, most worshipful this, and all of these degrees. They even got a degree called prophet. So in my mind, when I take myself back to that period of time, I think a lot of them seen Prophet Noble Drew Ali as a title prophet as opposed to a holy and divine prophet. And I think that's why Prophet Noble Drew Ali kept putting emphasis on your holy and divine prophet, holy and divine prophet, because there is a title in the Shriners that represent prophet. You feel what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
And so I think people seen it in that light, because that's the only thing that it makes sense to me, how somebody can look at a prophet of God and see that it's okay to try to overthrow him, that he can't be overthrown. He's sitting on a throne that Allah has made, but they still attempt to do that. So you got to be a diabolical mind and not understand what a prophet is. Anyway, long story short, Pearl Drew Ali was out of that temple. Pearl Drew Ali was the only wife of Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Mary Drew Ali, according to the evidence that I can produce, was not married to Prophet Noble Drew Ali. It was a lie. They was trying to. All right, let me backpedal a little bit. So while Prophet Noble Drew Ali was touring the temples after the first annual convention of 1928, he was going around to all the temples starting in December, if I'm not mistaken, and he was going to end his tour in March. While he was out there, they had a plan to overthrow Prophet Noble Drew Ali. And what I mean overthrow Prophet Noble Drew Ali, they was going to get everybody to follow behind Claude Green Bey. Claude Green Bey was very influential. Claude Green Bey, he had a lot of pull in the civic community of Chicago. And everybody was going to get behind Claude Green Bey. Turkmen Bey was going to be Claude Green Bey's assistant in this takeover. Now, we have to remember that Prophet Noble Drew Ali, the headquarters, if you will, or temple number 1, if you will, was 3940 Indiana Avenue. That place was secured by Claude Green, because he was in with the European owners, the Jewish owners that owned the building. The Moors never owned that building. He was in with them. He worked for them. He was the butler. Do you feel what I'm saying? He was the butler for the owner. And so he secured that space for the Moorish Americans. You follow me? Not only did Prophet Noble Drew Ali have an office there, there was a temple there. Also, a manufacturing of the oil teas and compounds was in the basement. So he secured a great bit of real estate for the Moors to operate and function in a real efficient manner. You know what I mean? You got the temple. That's decent. Anyway, he controlled it, and so while the Prophet Noble Drew Ali was out visiting the temples after the first annual convention, the plan was to overthrow Prophet Noble Drew Ali and install Claude Green Bey. So, come March, I mean, the plan had already kicked off. In January, while Prophet Noble Drew Ali, and I'm thinking it's January, but don't quote me on this, I'll pull the file if need be. In January, while Prophet Noble Drew Ali was in the D, that's right, temple number 4. Now, temple number 4 had a large temple too. They had over 4,000 members. But what people don't understand, it wasn't 4,000 members that can fit into the temple. Many people held temple inside their homes. You know what I mean? Because everybody couldn't fit in the temple. So they were open. That's why Prophet Noble Drew Ali give the example in home office. There were also home temples. This is what I'm saying, because everybody couldn't fit in the building. Obviously, 4,000 people. Anyway, although it was a lot of people there, it wasn't 4,000 there, but it was packed to capacity and they had to turn some away according to reports. Prophet Noble Drew Ali was actually in the crowd. He was in the crowd. Ira Johnson Bey, Ira Johnson Bey's son, and a brother named Williams Bey. They were in the crowd. They were actually Prophet Noble Drew Ali's security, if you will. And they were in the crowd when Lomax Bey made the statement in front of that big crowd that he is not sending any more finance to Chicago. In fact, he's not a part of it no more. And that's the end of the story. Period, point blank. And I'm just paraphrasing, I can't quote him. So when that happened, all you know what broke out. You know what I'm saying? Ira Johnson Bey, he was no game. You know what I'm saying? He went at him. And out front, gunshots rang out. You know what I'm saying? A couple people were injured. Ira Johnson Bey get out of there. Prophet Noble Drew Ali goes on to his next stop, which possibly could have been Virginia, but don't quote me on it. He goes into his next stop. And obviously the takeover had kicked off. You know what I'm saying? And Prophet Noble Drew Ali knew about the takeover because there's a letter where he says, when I come to Detroit, I'm not staying at such and such. I'll find me a place to stay because I don't think it's safe. So Prophet Noble Drew Ali already knew what was jumping. There's no doubt about it. But, you know, he got to give his life as a living sacrifice. Just as Jesus did. He got to do it. I mean, it's the will of Allah. Anyway, by the time he gets back to Chicago in March, early March, Claude Green had already announced himself as the Grand Sheik of the Moorish Science Temple of America. And when he announced himself as that, he took the prophet's office furniture as a symbolic gesture and sit it on the sidewalk. You follow me? Up 3140 Indiana Avenue. He sit it on the sidewalk. When that happened, was the wrong move. Ira Johnson Bey taking the action. Ira Johnson Bey kicks into action and they're giving a party. This is why, so at this time, right, while Prophet Noble Drew Ali was gone, you got to understand that Claude Green was the business manager. You follow me? Claude Green was the business manager. And so him being the business manager, he have access to everything. So he actually, what the evidence show is that Claude Green, he took everything that had been accumulated in the name of the Moorish Science Temple of America. I'll put it like that. I don't want to give up too much because I'm actually doing a lecture on this.
Okay.
But he takes everything, right? And declares himself the Grand Sheik of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Well, I don't know if you ever heard that letter where Prophet Noble Drew Ali says, I need finance and I need it bad to shove aside all the discord that has been facing the nation. There's a letter out there where the Prophet Noble Drew Ali said that. Well, that letter was sent out in March. Well, in March was the same period of time that Claude Green Bey made this statement that he is the Grand Sheik of the Moorish Science Temple of America and put the prophet stuff outside. His assistant was to be no other than Charles Kirkman Bey. And I say that with conviction. That was his assistant. He was the assistant Grand Sheik, but he had a different name. I'll put that out in the lecture. And I can prove it. He had a different title that was close to the Grand Sheik, but it was slightly different. And I can prove it. Written in stone. With that being said, Ira Johnson Bey springs into action. You know what I mean? They having a party to raise money for the Moorish Science Temple of America under Claude Green leadership. And as the party going on, Ira Johnson Bey, Williams Bey, walks up, catches him in the hallway, and the description is he was found on his knees as if he was begging for his life. His throat was slashed, and he also had a bullet to his head. Now, people tried to say that, oh, he did that because he had an affair. He had an affair with Pearl Drew Ali. That's false. That's false. Come on, Sheik, give us everything now. That's false. He never had an affair with Pearl Drew Ali. Never. That story came later. After they tried to dirty up the Prophet Noble Drew Ali name. The first thing, if I want to dirty up your name, Page L, the first thing I can do is dirty up your wife's name. And now you look bad. You dirty the woman, you dirty the man. You feel what I'm saying? And you can see this scenario happening 2 times in Moorish history. The same thing happened with Sister Delia Miliel. They claimed Delia Miliel was having an affair with Morris L to try to dirty up Miliel's name. But Miliel was the only faithful one to the prophet. The only faithful one. You know what I'm saying? To the prophet. Miliel was. This is a fact. And I can prove it. Now, everything that I'm saying, Page L, I can prove. And I challenge anybody to challenge me on it. That's how strong I am about this. And you see my research, right?
Yeah, I see you. You know, what I love about the show and I love about you is like you bring everybody on from different sectors. Like, hey, you say you're more, hey, come on in. See, because I really like, I was watching the video earlier, but Azim Hopkins Bey.
Yes.
That brother cold-blooded. He cold. Hey, look, hey, I'm listening to him. I'm like, man, he's spitting. And then the Neil Bey. And it's like, whoa, oh, you cool? Oh, okay, you ain't playing. You getting around with everybody. That's what I love.
Yeah,
it's like you're bringing it together. But it's the comments that I want to say, I ain't going to say, well, you said before, you was like, hey, I know, like, you was like, hey, I don't believe that all the Moors will come together under one umbrella. Because,
absolutely.
Like, I know you said that, right? I know why you said it, and I listened to him like, well, okay. But there, as we know, Allah is one Allah.
Right.
One prophet should only be one temple.
Okay. But
right? I said should. I threw the should in there because, but I know people that's in power. Like how you said if everybody know the truth and everybody knows this, then why? I get what you're saying, but break it down to me,
brother. If we fail to make the basic adjustment that Prophet Noble Drew Ali name is not Timothy Drew, how are we going to make the adjustment of coming together? See, the cohesiveness of people is the recognition of truth. Mm-hmm. We come together, as Marcus Garvey say, one aim, one destiny, one God. We have to come together with oneness. Anything other than that is fake. You feel what I'm saying? So if I know that, brother, in all due respect, this is just a conversation, but with all due respect, this is just raw truth. This is Channel 7. Raw truth. If I know that Kirkman Bey was not installed in a leadership position by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, if I know that without a doubt of contradiction, yes, it was 1929, then what is the alternative to what people are following today? There has to be an alternative to a lie, because that's a lie. No shots, just a fact. That's just a lie. There is no evidence that he was made a sheikh by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Of course, he was with the Prophet. He was the interpreter. There's no evidence he was made a divine minister with the Prophet. He traveled the world with the Prophet. There is no evidence to this. In fact, he subscribes to Emeliel to confirm a degree of advisor. In fact, a position that doesn't even exist in the Moorish Science Temple of America. It don't even exist. So you can't have people saying that they're ready to come together under one leader if they can't even acknowledge one truth. Brother, that's just the fact. That's just the fact.
Okay.
It's just not going to happen until people ready to man up and say, you know what, it's time to scrap this. Let's get it right. Or they're going to have to die off. I got to give it to you raw. And New Jerusalem going to have to come from heaven. And the new generation going to have to be taught correctly. That's it. The new generation is going to have to be taught correctly. They can't be taught a lie.
Mm-hmm.
Truth will set you free. Love is the savior of the world. A lie does not fall on the side of love. The Prophet Noble Drew Ali teaches there are two things in all the world. The one is truth, the other is falsehood. And when you divide them lines, lies fall on the side of what? Falsehood.
Falsehood.
Therefore, we have to do away with the lies in order to express the truth and excel in it. There is no holy and divine movement founded on a lie. It doesn't exist. So either we are going to build from the blueprint of Prophet Noble Drew Ali that he left us, or we're going to continue to follow lies and hoping for the best. And we know what happened with that. Ain't nothing coming out that. And so what I have done, I've decided that, listen, if Prophet Noble Drew Ali said it'd be the third and fourth generation coming in, hearing, seeing, and knowing, and et cetera, those sayings people like to use as cliches. And Prophet Noble Drew Ali said, I bought you everything you need to build a nation, and I bought you everything you need to save a nation, take it and save yourself. I look at that like, okay, I already know the Kirkman Bay thing is a lie. Nothing against my brothers or sisters over there. It's just a lie. I already know that the lineage thing stemming from Emeliel that everybody claimed back to the prophet is also a lie. It's a complete lie. Both sides are lies. Both sides.
Oh man,
you understand what I'm saying, Pagel? Both sides are lies. So if both sides are lies, what is the alternative to the lie? We must look at the blueprint, see what happened, and reestablish it. That's the only thing that can be true. Because that's a lie, and that's a lie. I don't care how many people follow it. I don't care how dressed up and nice you look. It don't matter to me. I just want to subscribe to the truth given to us by our holy and divine prophet. And both sides are lying. Anybody say that the Supreme Grand Sheikh position was passed down from Prophet Noble Drew Ali to Emeliel all the way up to some Supreme Grand Sheikh today is a flat out lie, and I will look them in the face and say that you are a lie. And anybody say that Charles Kirkman Bey is the next leader after Prophet Noble Drew Ali, as they like to perpetuate, I will look them in the face and say, you are a lie. But you gonna hit me in the mouth? You're lying. Now, if you are lying, can we get to the truth? And let's demonstrate. Let's build this Moors world. But until people are ready to accept that fact, I mean, the Moors with me, that's what we're working towards. We're working towards just uncut, without permission, to build this demonstration the way the prophet left the example. And so back to the original question about the Thomas Drew, that is Prophet Noble Drew Ali's birth name, brother. You know what I'm saying? Okay. And many people that got the scholarship that know better, you know what I'm saying? Many of these great Moorish scholars, many of these great Moorish leaders, they know this, but they ain't changing nothing. To them, it's Timothy Drew. Just like Santa Claus be here on the 25th of December. That's what it is. Simple truth that people got to accept, brother. Simple truth. Now, we can get along and have cookouts together. We can get along and play dress up. You know what I mean? The Moorish balls, take pretty pictures, buy some shoes that curl up like jokers. We can do all that stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah. We can get some black pheasants, some red pheasants, some burgundy pheasants. We can do all that. Some nice, pretty charms. We can do all that.
That's what I wanted to ask you. In all my reading with the Prophet book, I've never read where he said anything about black pheasants, but I see every sector have them.
Well, this is my thing.
Okay, I see what it's to the left.
I actually have a black fez, and my fez was given to me by one of my teachers. I didn't buy my fez off of Lauder. Many people are just buying fezes off of Lauder. You follow what I'm saying? They go online to the European site and they buy a flag. My black fez was given to me by Sheikh R. Edwards L. At that time, he was the grand governor. He was the grand governor of the Bailey Ill portion. And I respect him as a leader, as a researcher, and as a divine minister. And so my black fez represent a divine minister. You follow what I'm saying? It represents a divine minister, you know, or in the ink, More Science Diplomatic Incorporated, their muftis wear the fezes. And I get all of that. However, many people wear the black fez due to one of the stories from Cook Bay, where Cook Bay says that he was given a black fez by the prophet. You follow what I'm saying? He was given a black fez by the prophet, and that's old tradition. Now, can I prove it? I don't know. We got a picture that seemingly looks like a guy there with a black fez. So, I mean, yeah, we actually have the picture, one of the pictures with the prophet in black and white, but it has been taken through the chain so we can see the color version of it. And there is a guy there with a black fez. I can't think of the brother's name. There's a guy there with a black fez. But that's the evidence right there. But most of the fezes that you see, half of these people never been through a true adapt chamber. Half of these people, they just went on Lourdes and bought a black fez. Half of these people, the adapt chamber that they went through, they walking around with some rocks and some batteries, some car batteries, and they acting like, I'm trying to tell you, I heard these stories.
Hey, man, I mean to laugh. What? Some batteries?
Center blocks. They walk around with center blocks, and then they come out there. Okay, you a sheik. Go buy yourself a black fez. What? But that's why you see. Look at this thing. But that's why you see the Most High Temple of America proclaimed online the way it looked like it do. That's why it looks so crazy. Because nobody really has the divine minister to teach them how to be a divine minister. Like even the way that I demonstrate sometimes. Many people like, man, I heard people outside the boys out there, he a fake boy. They don't know that this is adapt strategy too. You know what I mean? Would the fish bite the worm if he knew the hook was hidden therein? You know what I mean? Real TV is adapt strategy at its best. It's the great Moorish drama at its best, but people don't see that. But that's all that. But I'm trying to tell you that they go into these little dark rooms, you know what I mean? They got a little bit of weed and all that stuff, and they say, okay. They start banging the guy with do. This is an adapt meeting. Blindfold him and give him some car batteries. And you stand there for an hour. And after they stand there for an hour and talk a little bit.
Silly, man.
I'm trying to tell you.
No, man, it's funny because it's like when you was talking about.
I'm telling the truth.
You was talking about you was talking about Braswell Bay, and you was saying oh man, I just lost my thought. What you say?
We have good time.
You said, oh yeah, you said the people approached me and they were like in a cult-like trance. I said, what did brother say? They was in a cult-like trance. Yeah.
Look, I'm not playing. Listen, look, on this channel, I'm gonna do stories. I'm gonna do some stories of things that I experienced in my journey. Probably it is funny. It's funny to me, but I'm gonna tell you that story right there, man. Listen, I had a bunch of young Moors with me. They not even a year in the movement. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I want to take them around Chicago. You know what I mean? Everybody know me. I want to take them around. A lot of people disagree the way that I approach and my rawness. You know what I mean? But but they don't really have no problem with me personally. Some of them do, but we ain't gonna get into that smoke. You know what I mean? But whatever the case may be, I try to take the young Moors, you know what I mean, around to the places, you know what I mean, to experience Moorish, man. When we went to Braswell Bay demonstration, goodness gracious. Trying to tell you, man, they had that, man. You ever met somebody been in prison for 20 years with that blank stare?
Yeah.
That get out demonstration.
Man.
Look, I'm trying to tell you, this brother, man, was a $120 soaking wet. And I done lost weight now because I went vegan, but I was about 140 or something. I mean, I'm still a little bit muscular, you know what I mean? But I was like 140, want to try it out on somebody, and he a $120 soaking wet talking to me like, you got to get out. I'm like, brother, I'm not going nowhere. You got to get out. You can't go upstairs. Man, you got to be picking up. I'm going to use this restroom. And then we going up there. Matter of fact, and when I came out, they actually, somebody went up there and said, Brother Tahaka Bey. I think it was my main man, his assistant. I forget his assistant name. Carter Bey. Honor to Brother Carter Bey. He went up there and talked to Braswell Bay. And this the funny part. Braswell Bay said, yeah, send him on up. Brother Tahaka Bey, send him up. And so I looked at the little man, you know what I mean? Man, for real, he's like 120 soaking wet, man. And I looked at him, man, I just wanted to hit the old school demonstrators on him as I walked past him like. I wanted to jump at him. You know what I mean? Make him jump a little bit, right? Anyway, I go up there. Braswell Bay sitting there with his stick and all that. And so I walks up to him. I say, Islam Supreme Grand Sheikh. I call people by the title that they want to be called. I ain't got no problem with it. I mean, Islam Supreme Grand Sheikh. I said, man, I had about at least about 10 young Moors with me. 1 year, a first year in a demonstration. I said, Supreme Grand Sheikh. I said, this ain't Moorish, man. I said, this is how I said it to him. I had to kneel down and talk to him. I said, this ain't Moorish, man. I said, you can't have young Moorish Americans standing outside the hotel, can't come in, and you got your little henchmen out there. I said, man, the old me would have dragged that guy all around that door. I said, we can't do that, Braswell Bay. I said, Islam. He said, Islam. He said, then he said to me, they talk real soft. Shout out to Braswell Bay. That's my buddy. I think he's one of the most charismatic Moorish Americans on the planet Earth. For real. If I didn't study so much, I'd be right there with him talking soft too. Islam. Because they talk real soft, right? But anyway, Braswell Bay said, brother, listen. He said, you know, a lot of people are angry with me and a lot of people threaten me. So I have to be careful. I said, well, brother, I'm not angry with you. I ain't angry with nobody. I'm Brother Tahaka Bey. I said, I might crack a joke or two, but I ain't angry with you. He said, Islam, brother. I said, but you don't think you owe these brothers and sisters an apology standing out front in the lobby like that and this henchman of yours being aggressive? He said, Islam, Mo, would you like some cake? I lost my window. I'm gonna get a piece of cake. I knew he. Hey, Paige, and you know how I go. When somebody try to escape, you just let them go. I say, Islam, what kind of cake you got? What I kick you, yeah. I like chocolate. You ain't got no eggs in it, do you? But Page L, listen, I want everybody to know this, Page L.
Mm-hmm.
That Moorish science got to be an experience that you can live and be yourself. You know, when I came into Moorish Science Temple of America, I was taught to be stiff. I was supposed to. Prophet Noble Drew Ali was. You ever see Rizza Islam? That's my brother. But man, he's the most stiffest guy in the world. Rizza Islam, like, and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, like, my goodness, I couldn't do that, man. My back hurt, man. I gotta chill a little bit, man. so my man,
that brother's sharp, though. He's sharp.
Man, he's sharp as 13 Gillette blades. But good goodness and gracious, he stand tall all the time. Do he get tired? Man, good goodness and gracious, Rizza Islam. Man, shout out to man. He got the best posture on the face of the earth. Did you know that? Go check him out. Rizza Islam got the best posture on the planet Earth. I ain't never seen no posture like that. He's like Let me stop playing.
It's loud, brother.
But no, the whole thing in a nutshell, I gotta be myself. And when I discovered the teachers of Prophet Noble Drew Ali, the true teachers, not that fugazi stuff that people was giving me that I thought was real, that was making me be somebody else, and the Prophet say, be yourself. I just had to be myself. I'm silly. I'm goofy. I know when to get serious. I run a business. I'm a family man. But I'm going to have some fun on this journey. But the ultimate thing is this, more before I get out of here. The ultimate thing is this. I'm going to come back and bring all the evidence with the presentation about Thomas Drew. You follow? And show you that his name is not Timothy Drew. It was not, could not be, and never will be. If Moors would go and change their website with that little adjustment, we might have hope.
They might have hope.
I mean, it's little adjustments. Like, for instance, to my brothers and sisters of the Moorish Science Temple of America Incorporated, this is not a shot. For instance, when we read the Divine Constitution and Bylaws, we don't see no concessions made for a grand advisor. We just don't. It's not a shot. We just don't. It's the Grand Sheik and the chairman of the Moorish Science Temple of America is empowered to make laws and enforce laws with the assistance of the Prophet and the grand body of the Moorish Science Temple of America. The assistant Grand Sheik is to assist the Grand Sheik in all affairs if he lives according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and is known before the members of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Act 1. One of the most important laws of the Moorish Science Temple of America. All of them are important, but that gives you the framework of the positions of power in the Moorish Science Temple of America. In fact, the Supreme Grand Sheik is not even the head of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Consequently, the Supreme Grand Sheik is the head of the Supreme Grand Council, and consequently, the Grand Sheik and chairman of the Moorish Science Temple of America has held that position in the name of Ibn Eliel during the time of the Prophet. But the Supreme Grand Sheik is the head of the Supreme Grand Council. The Grand Sheik and chairman is the head of the Moorish Science Temple of America. This is why the Moorish Science Temple of America could be established without a Supreme Grand Sheik. Before there was a Supreme Grand Council, before there was a Supreme Grand Council, there was a Grand Sheik of Temple number 1. And his name was Ibn Eliel. There was a governor. His name was Lomax Bey. You can establish a Moorish Science Temple of America if you understand the blueprint with grand governors and heads of all temples. You read them in laws? Grand governors, heads of all temples, all businesses. Each says temple must be approved by the Prophet. You can establish a Moorish Science Temple of America with grand governors, heads of all temple. The Prophet Noble Drew Ali did it all the way up until 1928. And this what gets me about all these people who go in this place to get a charter, go in that place to get a charter. I mean, in fact, in the Holy Quran in the Moorish Science Temple of America, it reads that once, in fact, let me see if I can find one. In the Holy Quran in the Moorish Science Temple of America, it actually reads that once you are established, you can ask for a charter. The prophet have charters to have charters for every state throughout the United States. But this is after the temple is established, not before.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, in fact, when you read the history, that most Moors during the time of the prophet, where it's documented, they established the temple. The prophet checked it out. It was running correctly. Then he set aside a charter. He didn't give people charters first. It didn't work like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And so this whole movement is turned inside out and claiming to be the Moorish Science Temple of America. And that's one of the reasons it haven't accomplished what the prophet accomplished. That's one of the reasons. But we call ourselves the noble temples as a if you will, styled as the noble temples, because the prophet Noble Drew Ali put that in the charter to be styled as, you know what I mean? And we use the styled as noble temples to separate us from this foolery. We want to demonstrate Noble Drew Ali, the prophet. That's it. If the prophet ain't doing it, I ain't doing it. And if you ain't cool with me because I ain't doing what you doing because the prophet ain't doing, then we just not cool. I'm going to do what the prophet did. Get mad. That's it. I don't care. I don't care if it's 100,000 people following the lie. I'm going to follow the truth. The prophet laid it out for us. There's no excuse. There is no excuse. You know what I'm saying? Only excuse is, that's my buddy. I didn't put my family in this. I got to tell them I didn't lie to them. That's it. I got to give them. Brother, we're going to do this again. Can we do this again, brother?
Yeah, no problem, man. I've been watching you for a while. You know what? I've been, like I was looking out. I wanted to get back and going to the temple. And like I've been watching you and you've been breaking stuff down. And like you ain't taking shots. You just saying what you find and what you discover and what you know to be the truth. Right? And you putting it out like, hey, this is the truth. Truth is book one. You laying it out. And I'm like, whoa. Like, man, because I caught Braswell Bay online, like just online, just researching the temples. And I'm like, dang. Then I looked at something like on YouTube, and then it sent me something, to like get into like a academy or whatever, Moorish Academy or some stuff. And I'm like, man, y'all hold on, man. That's what rubbed me wrong. It was like, hold on, you want me to charge you to pay you to teach me something? No, I understand the literature might cost. So yeah, I'll make a donation on that because ain't nothing free. But you want me to pay you so you can teach me some stuff that you supposed to teach me? Because you the leader? No, I can't. No, I don't get it.
Hey, brother, let me tell you something.
I appreciate all the Moors out there putting in work. Whether you in the ink, whether whatever MSTFA or whatever Moors in America, anybody, any platform, you know what I mean? Now, like how you said, I don't know nothing about that sovereign stuff because that ain't I ain't seen none of that in the literature.
Now, my thing is this. My whole thing is this. I just want to do it right. I can't tell my son Santa Claus is coming. Santa Claus ain't coming. I can't do it. If I'm going to say to myself, I'm going to live life to the best of my ability according to the teachings of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Even if I can't measure out right now, I know the level that I must strive for. And I'm not going to lie to myself. You see what I'm saying? I don't care. I used to smoke Newports. You smoke Newports? I used to smoke Newports. You know what I mean? Yeah, I used to smoke.
I don't smoke.
Back in the day, I was a closet smoker. I mean, I ain't like anybody. God, I've been a Moor for so long, it's been in my conscience. And so I ain't nobody looking. I go behind. Put some Muslim oil on. I put some Muslim oil on. How they smoke. But the thing is, I knew that that's not the way to be moving. Prophet Ali teaches us that this life given to us, it's our duty to preserve it. And I'm throwing that demonstration. blowing O's, making it look slick too. O's. O's. You know what I mean? And so when I had to measure up, I had to measure up. And that's what I did. I measured up. So brother say, tell the brother temple number 25 in Detroit, brother Fuquan Bay. The brother say he be going to the temple.
Yeah, I go to temple 20. I go to temple 25 with Fuqua Bay.
I'm about to get Fuquan Bay on here. Fuquan Bay, that's my brother. He about to get this heat though. He about to get this heat.
I know.
I love that brother. Nah, that's my brother.
Yeah. That's the temple I go to, but I'm just not a member. That's why I said I attend the temple, but I'm not a member.
Well, I have a video I'm going to upload here, me and Fuquan Bay, and man, I've been hesitant to do it, man, because the OG Sheik, the old God Sheik, the young bull had to give it to him. I had to give it to him. Now that's my brother. I love brother Fuquan Bay, but at the end of the day, my thing is this. If you're striving for purity in life, that's a beautiful thing. You know what I'm saying? My thing is, I need the structure of the Moorish Science Temple of America so I can see this utopia of the Moorish Science Temple of America that was examples by Prophet Noble Drew Ali in a short 3 years. From 25 to 27, all the way up to 28, 26 to 28, whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? That Moors accomplished so much. And it ain't no reason why we haven't accomplished anything on that level yet. The only reason could be is because we're not doing what the prophet did.
Nah, what got me coming back was listening to you, and also what Fuqua Bay is doing out here in the city of Detroit. The brothers reach one, teach one. He got people out there. Hey, free giveaway. He doing his thing, and it's like, hey, whoa, hey, look. And I'm looking at myself. Yeah, I'm working and everything nice, and like, hey, whoa, I need to get up off this couch. I need to be doing something. I need to put my feet to the pavement. So it's like, hey, I got to make a move. So now I'm just learning from everybody.
And then that's the thing, you know, that brother is putting in that work. You know what I mean? Islam, brother Fuquan Bay, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great, Mo. How about you?
I'm doing wonderful. Can I get a minute of your time? Just 1 minute, 30 seconds.
Clock is running.
Listen, I'm live on my channel, brother, and we need to have a conversation on my channel. Can you say Islam to the people and then tell them when you're coming on? That's right, you're on the spot right now.
I'm on
where you at? No, I ain't no. Why you always gotta talk slick to me?
What you talking about? I'm on now.
Hey, Moore, I love you, Moore.
You say where I'm at? I'm everywhere. I'm on now.
Hey, listen. Hey, Grand Sheik, listen. I just called you because a brother here, he said he comes to your temple. He's not a member, but he have an utmost respect for you. And we was dealing with some truth here on the channel. And I say, you know what? Let me call the brother because I got to get you on the channel. So now you got to tell me when you're coming on here. Don't play with me.
I'm on now. I'm on the channel, brother. What you talking about? I'm on now.
Grand Sheik.
What you talking about? All you had to do is switch me over to go through your systems and access it, and I'm right there right now.
Well, guess what?
They don't need, hey, what they need to see me?
No. But listen, hey, Grand Sheik, I love you, Grand Sheik.
My brother.
You talking to me? Tell me it's official. That's all you guys do is you got the left hands on the line.
See, listen. People wonder where I get this slick talk from. The old Grand Sheik. I got it. But Grand Sheik, we gonna talk soon, brother. I'm about to wrap up this show. I'm glad you picked up, brother. Keep up the good work. I see what you're doing, and we coming out.
Yes, sir.
Islam, Muslim.
Yeah, definitely do that. You're welcome to that.
Absolutely. Hey.
Allah, one prophet, one temple. That's it.
There you go. Islam, Muslim.
Yeah. See, you see that?
Islam.
Hey, we can't learn to love instead of hate if we can't love on one another.
Well, you know I love you. I don't care if you try to take my head off with the truth that you hold.
Yeah.
Peace and love, Grand Sheik.
Peace and love, now.
But look, me and Fuquan Bay know we see things differently. But I love that brother there.
Mm-hmm.
I love that brother there, man. But I'm telling you, man, you can't out-talk Fuquan Bay unless you Tahaka Bay. But anyway, that's right. That's the but listen to this. Prophet Noble Drew Ali says in the Holy Covenant, when you separate in the world, remember the relation that bindeth you to love and unity. Separation is a thought. So separate means is that I see things slightly different than the way that you see things.
Mm-hmm.
That's a degree of separation. However, remember the love, remember the relation that bindeth you to love and unity. Regardless of how you see things, regardless of how I see things, the love is still there. And that's what Moorish Americans have to get over. If you're not ready to move on from where you at, or I'm not ready to move back or move forward where you think you at, nevertheless, remember the relation that bindeth you to love and unity. You follow me? That's what we have to learn. I mean, if a person sit up there and worship a rock, if they're Asiatic, that's still your brother. Remember the relation that binds you to love and unity. Like, and before the night's out, I got to call the Grand Sheik Hopkins Bey. That's right. I got to call him. I got to call him. I got to. I don't know why I said that 3 times. But brother, I got to get out here before my wife get mad and your wife get mad. You married, brother?
Yeah, brother, I'm married. I got to go in there and eat.
You don't get up there. You get off of work, you sit in the car, talk to Tahaka Bay.
No, I ain't been in the house. I already told her to let her know. Hey, look. She say, who? She said, hold on, who? She say, is that the loudmouth guy? I say, yeah. I said, yeah, but see, he do that to draw people in. So I gave her the measure on. She said, well, okay. I know who you talking to. All right, babe, about your business. Because I got 4 children, right? So my house is always loud. I ain't got no quiet place. I got to come outside if I want quiet.
Man, listen, where I'm at, I turned the laundry room to my space. Man, they got to wash clothes in a bucket around here. You know what I mean?
That ain't going to last too long, bro.
No, actually, I do home improvement. So I remodeled and I created a smaller place for the laundry room, and I created this for my personal space in my office. You follow me? But at the end of the day, More, I got to get to the wife right now. She waiting for me. I told her 30 minutes, and I done been an hour.
Yeah. All right, peace, More.
Broken Blades, Brother Smith Bay, send me a text. I need to talk to you. That's right. He up there with Hopkins Bay too. Them Hopkins Bay Moors. I'm telling you, them Hopkins Bay Moors, they very sophisticated. Brother, you need to try to make it to Philadelphia to the track, brother.
Okay.
Oh my
goodness. What? Say that one more time.
The track. It's October the 14th. I'm gonna send you the link.
Okay.
Maybe you can consider it. Take a road trip. It ain't but a couple hours away. Take a road trip. Fuquan Bay ride from Detroit to Baltimore in one day and ride back. I said, good goodness gracious. This brother, he be on the move, man. Smith Bay, he in Houston. Okay. But with that being said, Islam family, hey, Paige, write down some more questions. We're going to do this again. I'm going to get you to help me build this platform for Moorish Americans. All right?
No problem.
We're going to do it. Brother, don't say that. Let's do it once a week.
All right. No problem.
All right. So next week, this time, you're going to shoot me a reminder that, okay, it's time, brother.
All right.
The Paige Ellen Bay moment.
Hey, hold on. What's the day? Today Wednesday.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Paige Ellen. All right. Okay. Brother, I'm going to make you my co-host. All right.
All right, More.
It's all right. Well, I'm not playing. If next week we don't do this, I'm fining you for standing around on your meeting period.
All right.
All right.
All right, More. I'll be there.
It's love. Peace and love.
All right. Peace.
Shout out to brother Selby Bay. I need to call Selby Bay soon too, because I haven't talked to him. I hope he ain't mad at me that Moorish World TV been knocking Grandmaster J head off with the truth. Selby Bay used to call me. Did I do something to Selby Bay? Selby Bay, call me, brother. Did I do something, brother? You know you need to call me. I'm going to call you. If I don't call you tonight, I'm going to call you tomorrow, Selby Bay. For real. We used to talk all the time. What'd I do? Did I do something? Did I do something? Nah. Nah, me and Selby Bay, we cut from the same cloth. We cut from the same cloth. We ain't got to speak forever, ever. But that's my brother. And that's just what it is. Peace and love, family. I'm going to call him, Smith Bay. I'm going to call him. I just been busy too. But peace and love, family. I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to be going live on this channel. Family, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe so we can, I'm not going to do no big presentations until we can get the subscriber built up. You know what I mean? Please subscribe and please share. You know, it's going to be some hard truth that people are going to have to digest, but it's the truth still. All means that to be open, closed, prompt, according to the circle 7 in love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. All rise and face the east. Islam. That's how I'm going to end the show.